Well, new today, a grim prediction from investment giant Goldman Sachs saying the economy will be fairly bad or very bad over the next 6 to 9 months.
Although the pace of recovery has slowed in recent months and is likely to continue to be fairly modest in the near term, the preconditions for a pickup of growth next year remain in place.
All right, so the big thing you saw it there, Ben Bernanke speaking live. This is the most important thing for markets here, markets in Shanghai, markets in London. This is what matters today.
Empirical evidence suggests that our previous program of securities purchases was successful in bringing down longer-term interest rates and thereby in supporting the economic recovery.
The problem is the Fed has made money so cheap to borrow that businesses are borrowing money and just sitting on it instead of actually using it to expand and create jobs.
A similar program conducted by the Bank of England has also appeared to have had benefits.
Drastic cost-cutting measures will soon hit the UK. The government just announcing plans to slash public spending by the largest amount since World War II.
I asked one government insider, why the UK is taking this choice. They say stimulus for them, they don't feel will work.
For example, a means of providing additional monetary stimulus, if warranted, would be to expand the Federal Reserve's holdings of longer-term securities.
So he's laying out the case for what we call quantitative easing, QE2, but basically that means the Fed prints money to go out and buy things like mortgages.
One disadvantage of asset purchases relative to conventional monetary policy is that we have much less experience in judging the economic effects of this policy instrument.
The market is saying, at least through my view, that they're fairly skeptical. It's not that whether Bernanke has to do this or not, but there seems to be a certain degree of skepticism of how effective it will be, or at the very least, how much more worth less the dollar is going to become.
Which makes it challenging to determine the appropriate quantity and pace of purchases and to communicate the policy response to the public.
It's been interesting to watch as the Bernanke and the government tries to print more money to sort of keep this ball in the air, as it were, to watch the financial market players, particularly the more sophisticated ones, how aggressively they have moved out of any financial asset and into gold, copper, palladium, all the metals, all the soft commodities.
Another concern associated with additional securities purchases is that substantial further expansion of the balance sheet could reduce public confidence in the Fed's ability to execute a smooth exit from its accommodative policies at the appropriate time.
Obviously, there's lots of risk, but it is expected that he'll announce how much money the Fed's going to put in the system on November 3rd.
This is not rocket science. You create a pile of how much money exists on the earth. You make it equal to the amount of gold that exists on the earth. If you're creating a lot more money, but you're not creating a lot more gold, gold has to do this by mathematical definition.